Hello everyone, welcome back or to my channel. Today we are reacting to Dean Withers and 20 MAGA women. If you know me, I'm not a Trump supporter. I don't believe a man should be running America, but that's a different story for a different night. So we're going to react and see what do I need to share about this in general. Let's hope it gets spicy. And there's going to be
I've been building out my
commercials
capsule
too.
wardrobe and
'Cause I
recently
ain't
bought this
paying.
pair of black slacks. I needed some inspiration for how to wear them, so I.
But regardless of
I think that we need strong alpha males like Donald J. Trump, Spencer Pratt, and our loved Charlie Kirk.
Did you
On
just
the street,
unironically say strong alpha males?
we have laws in favor of women getting leadership roles. We're taking
Okay.
opportunities away from men. You are
You just-
oppressed
you just-
more than me.
Men are men and men have testosterone and men love beautiful women. And trust me, I would prefer a man that actually looks at women and is sexually attracted to women.
Dude.
They had to make things up to get Trump. Trump doesn't have to be a sexual predator. Any woman would love to be with Trump.
All right, listen, put your hand up if you would have sex with Donald Trump.
Has Donald Trump been a good president for women, or has America moved backward from expanding women's rights to debating how far those rights should go? I'm John Regalado, and from Jubilee Media, this is Surrounded, where one brave soul faces a room full of disagreeers. Today, we are diving into what feminism means on both sides of the aisle, abortion rights, and President Trump's record. I'm here with our featured guest, progressive commentator, Dean Withers.
I remember when Dean was never heard of and Peter Parker was the most known debater of this kind of spectrum on TikTok. And Dean actually was like just, on TikTok, like there's little boxes you can join. He was there. And now look where he became bigger than bigger than Parker. Peter Parker. Damn. I'm actually kind of envious of Dean because it's just like, I'm always like, not to be like that, but like, actually, no, we're not even gonna say that. But I was always, watching Parker's live because they were, a duo and now they're like, go their separate ways, but they do the same stuff. And it's just so crazy how Dean, because I literally saw it, like how he just rolls up, especially when Charlie was around. Anyways, so let's continue.
Oh, I'm excited. This will be fun.
All right, are you all ready to debate Dean? Yeah! All right, let's get into it.
I'm Dean Withers. I'm a 21-year-old liberal. I do political debate for a living, and today I'm surrounded by 20 Trump supporters again. But this time, they're all women. My first surrounded claim is, men aren't better at leading than women.
If you would like to debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Good to see you again.
Welcome back, Lori. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing phenomenal. So the first claim is that men are not better at leading than women. And I'm honestly appalled that you as a woman would disagree. But I mean, if you want to start it off by telling us why you do think men are better at leading than women, the mic is all yours.
Well, how I would like to start this off is I'd like you to define what a woman is.
Well, sure. I think that the definition of what a woman is ultimately irrelevant to this debate, and I'm willing
No,
to
it's
assume
not.
I'm willing to pre-assume your definition of what a woman is, i.e. an adult human female. See, if I were to give you my definition of what a woman is, an adult human individual that pertains to the social and cultural characteristics typical that of a female sex indexed to their gender identity, well, then all of a sudden we're going to be speaking past one another because we define the word woman differently.
Exactly.
So I'm more than
for you
happy to
bring this
pre-assume your
prompt in the first
definition.
place is kind of silly because you don't know what a woman is.
Well, I just told you what my
And,
definition of the word woman is. You just
know,
simply
and I think
overlooked
it would
it.
also depend on what leadership role that person would take. For instance, if you wanted Kamala Harris, who you voted for, to be the president of the United States, we have a problem with that, and I'll tell you why. It's not necessarily the woman, but it is necessarily foreign countries, for instance, the Middle East. If I go to a Middle East country as a woman, I can't show my hair at risk of being stoned.
Why are we talking about Middle Eastern countries when the
Exactly. And the president is literally funding things to go to foreign countries like that. Okay? Like, let's not act like Donald Trump is pro women because he's not fucking Muslim, okay? Like, and just because somebody said they voted for somebody doesn't mean they completely liked everything that the person was doing at that certain time. If they did, then you would tell. Okay? When they're like, well, when they're like in general to people who vote for Kamala Harris, they're like, "Oh, you no, wait, hold on." I'm losing my train. When someone says, "Oh, you like Kamala Harris, don't you?" and they think I'm like the worst person in the planet, no, she was the best option other than Donald Trump. Period. It's that simple. Like but these MAGA bitches, like they honestly think Donald Trump has done the best that he's ever done, especially today, and they agree with every fucking thing that he's doing, which is literally sick. But she needs to get back to prompt.
Prompt is men are not
Because
better
you're
at leading than
asking
women.
about leading. You voted for Kamala Harris. I think she would have been a horrible leader. Foreign countries don't always see women as respectful as they see a man. A woman leading this country, for instance, when you go to doing foreign policy and all of those things, they would not have the respect that a man would.
Do you think countries have respect for other countries? Like, what is she talking about? Like, I think they're trying to put like they won't deal like with countries, like they won't deal with the United States if a woman was president, which is seriously incorrect. Countries, they don't respect one another. I guarantee no country on the planet Earth has respect for America. So just because Donald Trump is in office doesn't mean like they're gonna respect them. They're gonna act like they do, but they really don't. And even if they didn't have respect for the country, what does that mean? We're gonna get bombed because they don't have respect for America because a woman is a leader? Like, that makes no sense.
I can also say as a woman, depending on your age, if I've got PMS, honey, I'm going to make different decisions than I would as if I didn't. If I'm going through menopause, I might have hot flashes or whatever else.
Okay, so here they go with that. Okay, like, men do 99% of the crimes on this fucking planet, 99% of killings, 99% of every fucking terrible fucking thing that can possibly occur. And oh, if I'm going through menopause, if I'm on my period, whatever the case may be, like, are you serious? Me as a woman, um, I never had mood swings ever, okay? So I'm pretty sure there's millions of women who don't have mood swings that can impale the decisions, especially decisions of a fucking country that they are running, okay? Even if they're going through menopause. Like, no decision can be the catastrophical because they're going through some type of emotion. I guaranteed highly not, because Donald Trump has been through various different emotions that he made decisions that wasn't the best whatsoever because he was angry, because he was heated. And also he actually said some things that you can tell he got emotional live on air on TV that will cause emotion to say those things on camera, live on air. So let's cut the bullshit. Just because women have eggs in their universe and sometimes there's symptoms of it doesn't mean they can make the worst decision because they're on this thing. Period. Okay, just because women have periods doesn't mean that they're unable of comprehending and doing things. Because if a woman can literally process a baby, have like in the English is not my first language, sorry. But if a woman can process a baby, give birth to a baby, and be completely fine, like after a couple months, I guarantee she can run the fucking country.
I believe as a Christian woman, men are supposed to lead. We're supposed to help. And I
Because it says it all over the fucking Bible, but by the way, the Bible was made by a fucking man and multiple men over the centuries and it's been changed multiple times, like the Quran. Okay, so obviously it's gonna say that in the Bible. And the Bible also says that women are supposed to be treated equally as well. But it also says, again, like men are supposed to lead, you're supposed to sit back in a church, you're not supposed to say anything. So the Bible is miscommunicating a lot of things in it. But what you will see concurring in the Bible is the degrading of women and women not being on the same level or anywhere near the same level as men depicted in the Bible, just like the Quran. Okay? And just because the Bible says something, everyone's supposed to fall in line with it? No. This is 2026, like honestly.
totally comfortable with that.
Okay, well, thank you, Lori. So the first thing that I'd point out here is that your position that maybe foreign countries wouldn't respect a female president as much as a male president, I don't think is represented through the fact that on the global stage, Harris had a significantly higher approval rating than Trump during the election. And there's a reason for that.
Because
but
she
I
would have been a
digress.
pushover. They would have walked right over her.
And that's exactly why she had significantly better policy, better character,
No,
would have been a
not at
better
all.
president for
Not
America.
at all.
But ultimately, once again,
Ultimate
Lori,
failure.
the topic of debate is not, was Harris a better option for the president than Trump? Because even if we want to look at women and men on this macroscopic level of evaluating one woman compared to one man, even if it was true Harris was a clown and Trump was awesome, that still wouldn't mean that generally speaking, men are better at leading than women. The last point that you made there was about PMSing. I think that you're like indicating that women are more emotional than men on average.
They are. 100%.
Then tell me why men commit 92% of violent crimes. Tell me why they're more likely to self-unalive, commit
Testosterone.
suicide. So you think that testosterone is what makes men more emotional?
Absolutely.
Okay, well then you just conceded the debate.
No, I didn't concede.
You just said that
because
absolutely men are more emotional than men.
It's funny that most of the crimes, or if you think of a crime, whether it be literally anything, you will most likely have in your head a man. It's funny how men do all these disgusting shit that, and like, not in the human, like every animal that's a man has done some fucking disgusting shit and they're going to continue doing it. But you're most likely when that as somebody running the fucking world, running the fucking country of America, rather than someone who can give birth, continuously giving birth, dealing with shit like this every fucking day and not committing school shootings because they feel a type of way and all this shit, but she's not the better option. Like, honestly, sick.
Seconds after saying that women were more emotional than men.
And that's kind of like somewhat of a red herring because what I'm trying to say to you, women are more emotional. They just are in more of a, I can change my mind depending on my mood. Now you're bringing in anger, you're bringing in violence, you're bringing.
For one, if that was true, which it kind of is, like only like 20% of it, is because women are raised to be like that. Like men are raised to be a certain way. Women are mostly raised in most households to show emotion, to do those things under emotion. So if one is raised like that, what do you think they're going to be in real life? If they were raised like me, okay, with not a lot of leadership, and I had to become my own boss, become my own leader, not exactly the way I was, but like a women were raised in a household where they play with dolls and they're supposed to be submissive all the time and they're supposed to wear dresses all the time and wait for a man to save them. If they weren't raised like that, I guaranteed we have strong women like me standing today, but we have very less because of women like that who've been raised like that and who cannot see the difference between a good option and the worst option.
And
is anger an emotion?
It is, but to a different extent. And honestly, if you've got a man that's violent, out of character alone, I don't want him leading the country.
Yeah, that's why you voted for.
Oh yeah, you want to get into that? I know that's another prompt, but I'm happy to get into that.
I guess we
he
could
was
get into
never
that on the
accused, never accused of.
Okay, we got to pause there.
If somebody who I am trying to elect into office, again, English is not my first language. If somebody that is on the candidate of being elected into office, and there are rumors beyond multiple allegations of sexual assault and rape, and him being on an island full of pedophiles and one of the biggest pedophiles in human history, and him being involved on that island. If that person was voted into or being a candidate, I would not vote for them. Like, that's fishy as fuck. Like, I don't give a fuck. Like, if Kamala Harris was suspected to be on that island, okay, had multiple sexual violent issues, uh, beyond like numerous bad things that she said, past, present, future, and just being overall like a shitty ass pedophile rapist, she wouldn't be elected in office. It's not because she's a girl and you want to see girls in office for God knows what. No. So it's funny how they do that.
You've been voted out. Please
Okay.
return to your seat.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, Lori.
If you would like to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
They're unstoppable on the field, and you're unmovable from the couch. Lock in with their
Welcome, welcome.
Hi.
I'm going to give the mic to you. Why don't you tell us all why men are better at leading than women?
Men are better at leading because as a woman, I can tell you that we're emotionally manipulated very easy. We tend to be compassionate because we, as a woman, and getting pregnant, it's inherent.
Wouldn't being compassionate a good thing in a leader? Looking to seek and help other people, wouldn't that be good to have as a leader? And women are not easy to be manipulated at all. But be manipulated by who? Exactly. So you're crazy.
In us. Why? Because we deal with babies.
So women deal with babies, therefore women can be manipulated. I don't think that argument follows. But once
We
again,
can be easily manipulated
women can be easily manipulated.
and convinced. Yeah.
What's the argument for that?
It's inherent in us.
Okay, just saying that it's inherent is like me saying that what is actually inherent of women is that they can't be easily manipulated. That doesn't give me any substance to underpin your position. When you
If women can raise literal children that will become adults here today, I guarantee they can lead a whole fucking country. Okay? At least one of them, right? Like men, they leave situations easily. They're quick to get violent, very quick to be violent, and very quick to be snappy, very quick to hurt, and very quick to manipulate and be manipulated, and very quick to leave one's household with a pregnant person that they got pregnant or children. They're very quick to leave all those situations. So it's funny that those are the same people that we want to continuously lead, especially Caucasian men who simply have a better life than most and cannot see or have an understanding of hardship that many Americans face today, and have no idea mostly of what the real shit's going on because they've never been put in situations like that. Especially rich Caucasian men like Donald Trump, who's always been. And it's sick.
You just simply underpin your position by saying, well, it's inherent, and it doesn't push this dialogue forward. I would say that men are probably easier to emotionally manipulate than women, or else they wouldn't be culpable for 92% of violent crimes. We could emotionally manipulate a man by making him lose a game of Fortnite. The next thing we know, there's 3 holes in his walls. All right, same thing with self-unaliving statistics, suicide. Suicide's a really bad thing, but it is true that men are significantly more likely to kill themselves than women on average. Same thing with drunk driving, gambling. And then when we look at women, they actually perform better in the fields that are less indicative of emotional outbursts, such as performing well in school. And I mean, this is all underpinned by biology. There was a study done by the American Medical Association that proved that if you're operated on by a female compared to a male in the operating room at a hospital, that you're less likely to die or to experience any post-negative
But since they have periods, they cannot be in office.
outcomes. Why? Because women are biologically designed to deal with stress and pain better than men because they have thicker dendrites in their brain. So ultimately, the science and the empirical facts completely reject the conclusions that you formed.
Not at all. Men are more
We've got to
rational
pause
and
there.
women.
You've been voted out by the majority, so please return to your seat. If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi.
Hi,
What's your name?
Annette Davis Jackson.
It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, yes.
So let's hear it. Why do you think that men are better at leading than women?
How about I know that men lead better than women because women have the babies, you're emotional, but more important.
We've been hearing the same thing from these dumbass older women, right? Um, do you know how much will you have to raise a child effectively to the point of it's not dying or wanting to kill itself? Now, I'm not saying everyone who's becomes a mother who successfully did that, they don't create monsters. But that stage alone of consistently doing that is as strong as you can possibly be to raise a fucking child. You have to be strong, not emotional. You have to be strong to raise a fucking child on a daily basis. Okay? A human child at that. A boy at that. So how are we going to leave these creatures that are very vulnerable, who's very emotional, very sensitive with children? Why are we leaving those kind of people with children? Especially men boys who are trying to become men. Why in the world would we leave them? No, they're actually not left with them. The men leave, the strong men who can do anything, they leave purposely to never take care of the child, that they leave these kids, their kids, with these vulnerable, sensitive, not strong whatsoever, needs people constantly to help her. Why would men leave that their kids that they do not want to take care of with them? Oh, because they don't want to take care of them because they have other things to do, supposedly. They don't. Why aren't men the one raising kids? Because they're so strong. Because men cannot do that. Men are very sick. And Dean is an exception into men. He's probably gone through something very catastrophic to be coming up here and defending women like this, to be honest. So he's not even 1% of the men that are beautiful. He's like 0.8% men that exist out today in the world, okay? Anyways, so again, like, that doesn't make any sense. I will never leave my child with a weak-minded, sensitive, not strong whatsoever, emotional human that women are. But anyways.
I have a dad. I have a dad who was very strong. And when I see what President Trump is embodying, I say, and I know that you can roll your eyes, but you know what my grandmother used to say, you can roll your cotton balls, but you sure can't shoot them. So men are strong just like Trump because in the first 100 days, what did he do? He started writing executive orders.
Yeah.
He started writing executive orders day after day after day after day after day after day. Women would probably say, hey, ooh, let me take a break. That's why.
Probably you need to. What is up with these probablys? Is either you is or you aren't. If a woman can handle raising kids, but not writing an executive order because they'll get tired quickly, are you fucking kidding me? I can write an executive order. I can do better than Donald Trump in office right now. Like these idiots these women on here who probably have kids, who act like kids are just like easy to take care of, apparently, especially in today or in any age in general. Kids are not easy to take care of. Okay, you have to be very strong to raise a child, but they cannot write an fucking dumb executive order because they'll get tired. You don't think Donald Trump got tired? You think he was just there for 3 hours writing an executive order that he was getting told to write by other people? No.
Jesus Christ. Okay. Well, listen, clearly I disagree with you about Trump. But That's actually not relevant to my counter argument. I'll tell you why. Because even if Trump was a good leader, that doesn't mean that therefore men are better at leading than women on average. Like, for instance, in the same way that you could give an anecdote of a man that you think is good at leading to justify the claim that men are better at leading than women, well, I could just give an anecdote of the opposite. Hitler was a man, he was a terrible leader, therefore men are worse at leading than women, all right? But clearly that's not how it works, because we cannot attempt to allow an anecdote of what we think about one individual man to then exist as a portrait for a generalization about all men.
Why did you have to say Hitler?
Because he's obviously a bad leader that's a man?
Yeah, and
Do you agree?
the president of the United States, which is the commander-in-chief, Donald J. Trump, is a great leader.
Okay.
And he's a great leader because he won a landslide.
Okay, yeah.
And
So
if he could
true.
run again, he would run a landslide again.
Yeah, well, guess what? He's not. He's a terrible president. His policy sucks. How about this? What's your favorite Trump policy? I mean, a bill passed through Congress, then signed into law.
I'm a former college coach, and not having men in women's sports.
I'm sorry, what bill was that?
Oh, no.
Well, I'm sorry, what bill was that? I asked you a very specific
He's-
question.
We got to stop there that you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Okay.
All right. If you want to debate this claim, please get to the center in 3, 2.
Apparently you can go from 0 to a complete site in just a single prompt with Wix Harmony. I don't know if this is going to be possible. Or Vibe
2, 1.
Hi, Tracy.
How are you?
I think I remember you. Were you on my first Surrounded episode?
Maybe.
Well, I'm going to pass the mic to you. Tell us why you think men are better at leading than women. It's worth me reminding you and maybe everybody else in the room that so far a lot of the people who've come up and sat in that chair have really missed the mark. Like that last lady. She told me that men are better at leading than women because she likes Trump. Okay, let's hear in general why men are better at leading than women.
Well, this is why I think you're going to be surprised. I actually agree with you,
And why are you in the chair?
and I respectfully disagree with some of them. Well, I'm just saying some of the points that they were bringing up about a woman being pregnant, and because somebody's can carry a baby, that they're not fit to lead.
Oh,
I mean,
good.
it's the same argument where we say men go to work and come home and the woman stays and handles the household and the children. So is that not a powerful position? And I also have to, I'm respectfully disagreeing here.
Exactly. Exactly that. Like, being a mother is not like a good position. Like, raising kids is like anyone can fucking do that, you know? So, exactly, yes.
And I want you to give me an example. If you can tell me hypothetically of a woman that you think would be a better leader than Trump right now.
So just to clarify, you don't think men are better at leading than women?
No, Dean, because
Perfect.
if I'm in,
I'm really happy. I'm really happy that you don't think that.
I just told you, I agree with you, right?
I want you and everybody else in the room to obviously not think that men are better at leading than women. But unfortunately, the nature of this Surrounded episode is where we have disagreeers in the hot seat.
Yes, so I'm asking
I'm happy
you.
you're not, though.
So if we're walking down a dark alley, let's say we're on Figueroa or something, I would be the person having to protect you. I mean, everybody's built differently. I feel like I would have to be protecting you. I'm taller. I'm sure I weigh more than you. I mean, you can take as many classes as you want.
Okay, so just because you're taller and you can possibly weigh more, or if you do weigh more than somebody, doesn't mean that you can defend that person. It only matters how fast you is and how much skill you have in what you're defending. Like, if I'm defending a gun attacker and I'm short and skinny versus a tall, let's say buff guy, who cares? It just matters if who's better at defending, because I fought a lot of people who were tall and weighed more than me, and they didn't I'm still alive today, you know? So it has nothing to do with that. It only has matter of fast and courage and the skill you have. That is it. I've seen many people who were short and skinny defend someone who was up against a fat or a much weigher and taller than that person, and vice versa. That has nothing to do with that. It only has matter with skill that person can have, and that could be someone who's taller and weigh more, and it could not as well.
Wow. Yeah.
But it's true, Dean.
I'm not, listen.
Men and women are.
I'm not going to disrespect your ego the same way you're attempting to insult me, and that's fine.
Well, no,
See,
it's,
I'll be
it's
the
a,
bigger person here.
No,
That's
it's
the difference
it's
between the
a
left
size
and the right.
comparison. So it depends on where this conversation is going. If you're looking at body
That's
type,
funny, though.
I'm sorry, there are women that are larger
Can
than
you
men.
guys vote her out because she doesn't think that men are better at leading than women?
Tracy, it does sound like you agree on this
Yes.
prompt. So we're going to have you return to your seat and bring in a disagreeer.
Okay.
All right, if you disagree with this claim and you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hi.
Hello.
Your name's Julia?
Julia Kate. So I want to ask you, inherent in your statement that men are not better leaders than women,
Yeah.
there's the sense that you believe men and women are different, correct?
I think that there's obviously distinctions between men and women, or else we wouldn't have two different words to refer to two different groups.
So what are some of the distinctions?
Well, I mean, there's distinctions in the sense of cultural and social attitudes and behaviors. There's going to be that.
She's gonna be like the physical. It only has to do with your genetics, okay? It does. There are some tall women who are buffer than 14 men in their area. And there are some men that are buffer than women in their area. 14 women in their area. It has nothing to do with you being a man or a woman, okay? It literally doesn't. I fight men all the time, and they don't have no skill to defeat me, but they are taller than me, maybe shorter than me, but they're buffer than me, and it's completely fine. Anyways, so just because, yeah, it's just like, no. 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 There are women who are 6 feet. There are a lot of tall women and short men. There's way more than you possibly think. You can't just say, well, men are just more taller than women all the time, which is not the case at all.
Are, of course, innate to men and women, because
So
I
you
don't
don't
think
believe
that
in innate
prescriptive.
distinctions?
I don't think that prescriptive gender norms exist. Now, like from your perspective, that we were to define the genders on the basis of sex, of course, then there's going to be sexual dimorphism, and there's going to be differences present within that. Of course, like there's a plethora of differences. Listen, I'm not denying that there are differences between men and women, because once
Differences
again,
biologically,
if there
differences.
wasn't differences between men and women, well, then we wouldn't have two distinct
Okay,
groups.
okay, so we agree on that.
But my claim is I don't think that any of the differences that exist between men and women would amount to being relevant to justify the claim that men are better at leading than women.
Do you
I'll
think
actually
women
ask
are better
you.
than?
First of all, let's talk about women, not Homo sapiens. Like, I was thinking, like, overall. Like, women, lions are a perfect example on leading a fucking pack with a man involved. Have you ever heard? Lioness, they travel, they defend together, and there's one male in that area. And males can have a pack like that, but they're gonna soon kill off each other because of their fucking egos. There's a lot of examples of outs not being human, of women leading. Do you get that? And men just being like, a sperm choice, and like only being around for the products of kids. That's it. But they're fine without men, and they're leading a good life like bees. You know, all that shit. Multiple other like animals, insects, aquatic animals, of women being together or just leading a healthy community. But in this world that we're doing shitty in because of men, women just cannot never do that. You see how shitty that is?
Leading than men?
No, I actually think that gender is completely irrelevant to the
Interchangeable is
prospects
what you're saying.
of if somebody is better at leading than the other person. I ultimately think that there's going to be no determinative ability, regardless if we're making the claim that men are better at leading than women or women are better at leading than men, to ever make that
Okay,
prescriptive
so what
claim.
I'm hearing is that men and women are essentially interchangeable in your mind.
Well, in my mind, once again, I just don't
Just
believe
yes
in
or
the
no.
prescriptive gender norms.
Okay,
And I
got
think
you.
that ultimately one's gender is irrelevant
can
to
I
their
ask you a
leadership
question?
capabilities. If you can tell me
Dumbass bitch with her ugly ass voice.
what are the relevant differences between men and women
Yes.
that make men better at leading than women?
Yes, we can go back to the hunter and gatherers when men were the ones going out to hunt and women were the ones staying with the children and gathering fruits and nuts.
So So in every case of when she's mentioning, women were the sole ones who were pure fruits. No, let's be honest. Let's go back into the early stage of Homo sapiens, not Homo erectus, the first human in Africa. Homo sapiens. You honestly think that women had nothing to do with hunting and just would stay by with the children? There was no role for that. There was no roles back in those times where electricity didn't exist. Where um brick houses didn't exist. There was nothing like that. Women were doing the same exact thing as men were doing, such as men doing the same exact thing women were doing. There was no gender to it. It was either you're here, you're a body, let's go out and hunt, let's go out and do things to stay alive, because that's the main focus. It's not about the gender. Like, since when has it ever been about the gender to keep somebody alive or keep yourself alive? Oh, since you're a girl, you have to do this to keep to keep. No, it's just been about staying alive. Okay, period. Surviving. Okay, so back in those times, 2,000 years ago, when Homo sapiens came to form, being the only human to exist, today, there was no gender. The women and men were hunting together, dying together in fights. Period. Like, what is she living in? Like, this is, it's nothing, it has nothing to do with gender, and I really hate this shit, okay? Like, if there was a bear attack, okay, and you're a guy, I'm a guy, and there's three women, you honestly think I'm not gonna ask those three women to help me with this fucking bear attack? No, it's about what's surviving. We're all gonna team up together, and that's what it's supposed to be like. Okay? If I'm a man and my girlfriend's here and there's a bear like trying to attack the both of us, I'm not going to because if only one person is helping, do you think the other person is gonna make it out alive? No, the bear is gonna chase the fuck after her as well. So we're both gonna team up and help each other. I don't give a fuck. And it's just instinct. No one's instinct is to stay back because I'm a girl and I'm just biologically not strong enough. When your instinct comes on, because your instinct comes on so you can stay alive. So when you're out and you're hunting and there's a guy with you, you actually think you're just gonna stay back and let the man do all the work? No, your instinct's gonna come in and you're gonna be like, let's help eliminate the threat. And that's what it's always been. Until as of recently, how these idiot men put in these girls' head that since the gender that they didn't even choose makes them weaker than the man, which is highly incorrect.
Men are the people that go towards risk, that go towards provision, naturally. Why is it that in today's, even our influencer community, we have more women that are drawn towards beauty, makeup, things like family?
Because that's installed into their head at a very young age, and it's always been like that since like 200 years. Well, no, because man was putting on makeup in ancient times too. They were actually the first to put on makeup and the first to wear skirts and first to wear feminine clothing and first to wear heels. Men were the first to do that. So let's cut the shit, sweetheart.
Schooling, and men are more drawn towards traditionally masculine things. It's innate.
Because they were raised to do that. Because they were raised to be like that.
In every culture that you see this trend. We are hormonally different. That's been mentioned throughout this place. You as a man do not know what it's like to have a cycle, to have a period, to have your hormones go up and down.
Yeah.
That is insanely significant for a woman's ability to lead. And
first of all, so having a cycle is never that serious, sweetie. It's really never that serious, the way that people really put it out. And this is coming from one who does, okay? Cramps can be the fucking worst, but it's never that life fucking changing that you have a fucking period than a fucking man's. Because puberty must hit as hard as it can possibly get towards men, because Everyone has that friend or somebody that you know who was a little boy, and then a month goes by and their Adam's apple come in and they sound like a fully grown man. Everyone has those people that they've been around, and it's a drastic change because guess what? It's hormones, and it's so drastic because of the hormones. So let's not talk about, oh, you will never have a drastic change in hormones. Everyone has, and it's nothing to do about gender, but men, drastic change about their hormones is their literal balls dropping and their voice. So let's stop. And just because you bleed through your legs and you have fucking cramps doesn't mean you're weaker or no one can comprehend the stress, because it's really never that stressful unless you got cyst on your vagina that's making it stressful. But most women, they don't have that. So let's stop acting like it's just this determination on why me, her cannot lead a fucking country.
Women will complain about being scared to walk on the streets at night, and yet they'll elect
because of a fucking man.
The same politicians that release the criminals on the street.
Do you think that women should lose the right to vote?
I think that I'm not talking about that today.
You just gotta get a quick yes or no, then go back to the topic.
I think that we need strong alpha males like Donald J. Trump, Spencer Pratt, and our loved Charlie Kirk, who will have secure borders, who will not let criminals
Did you
on the
just
street.
unironically say strong alpha males?
Strong alpha males, yeah.
Bro, get a grip. Stand up.
Bro, get a grip. You're a man. Do you want to mansplain to me?
Well, I mean, actually, you just said that men are better at leading than women, so you should listen to every word that comes out of my mouth per your perspective, right? So if you think that men are the strong alpha males and women are the emotional followers, why won't you follow my lead and listen to what I have to say?
First off,
because
sir,
you don't believe what you
that
say.
is a straw man. I believe that male and female are created equal in the image of God. We each have the same.
You cannot say that and then say what she was saying a couple seconds ago.
Dignity and the same value. We have the same brain, the same rationality, but we have different and distinct roles.
Okay.
Why is it that
that was placed because of man? Everyone is individually better at something than the next. But you cannot say a gender is better than the other gender because of one key role, which is being strong. Everyone has their unique talent that they have that can be better than the opposite party. A woman can absolutely be stronger than a man. A man can be smarter than a woman, and a woman can be smarter than a man. Like that's like so a whole gender every single one of them have this key thing upon women that women can never have, which is being strong. That sounds illiterate to me. Everyone has their own talent. Everyone is good at something, and it has nothing to do with the gender you have.
women can get pregnant? Only females can get pregnant.
Well, of course, that would boil down to the physical biology.
Physical biology.
Because
Isn't
that
that
of the
innate that women are more geared towards child rearing and child raising than men are?
so.
Because it's been installed in them, Dean. Why aren't you saying that to her? Because it's been installed into women for multiple years. Not thousands, multiple. So it's a recent thing. So when something's installed into your head and you see multiple people doing it, and no one's speaking out, of course you'll go with the fucking flow. You idiot.
Once again, the way that we started this conversation.
But when you come for me and you're sick of that, seeing that shit, and you want to become that, and you want to become not a man, you want to become a strong source, a strong leader for not only yourself, for your future children, coming soon. You don't want to do that anymore, and you get rid of that shit. Like, I'm just sick of it.
Conversation was by me agreeing that there are going to be differences between men and women.
Exactly.
You just simply
So men
Can
are
I
better
finish?
leaders.
I would love if I could finish. You can't say because there's differences between two things that thereby innately one of the two things is going to be better at leading than the other. Like, I think that's ridiculous. Listen, once again, my claim is that the differences that do exist between men and women ultimately don't amount to justifying the claim that men are better at leading than women. And let me respond because you made a lot of claims.
On and on.
I think it's been the opposite.
Okay.
To respond to your claims,
Thank
you
you,
said
sir.
that there's a difference in the hormonal balances of men and women that make women more emotional. Well, I mean, I already went over this with.
It's not even just more emotional. It's that our bodies are not equipped to handle the same levels of cortisol as men. We
They're
need
actually more
care.
equipped.
Look at Donald Trump. The
They're
man
more
literally
equipped.
lives off of Diet Coke and McDonald's.
Okay.
We could not do that.
Okay. Listen.
Nobody can live only on Diet Coke and McDonald's. Nobody can only do that.
Actually, women are more equipped than men to deal with stress. It is proven by
That's
the
actually
science.
not true.
No,
So someone can give birth to a whole child that can not only, be in labor for not only 1 hour, 2 hours, can be in labor for over a day, give birth, but they cannot handle stress like that. They can never handle stress as much as man who's never done that before.
I'll tell you, you could look this up. Anybody at home could look this up. Women have thicker dendrites in their brain. And study after study after study has concluded time and time and time again that this gives women the ability to better manage their stress than men. And you actually brought this up. You brought up childbirth. The reason why women have thicker dendrites in their brain, giving them a greater navigation ability, giving them a greater ability to deal with their pain and stress is
I'm joking.
because of childbirth, okay?
Yes, because
and that's
childbirth
exactly why
is a
women can
big
deal with their
thing.
stress better than men. So your claim that the opposite is true is wrong. And plus, once again, when we look in society, how men deal with stress compared to how women deal with stress, well, when a man gets mad, he commits a violent crime, he kills his wife, he kidnaps his children, he sets his house ablaze. And this is why men are significantly more likely to commit every single crime on the books, including crimes that do not have a necessity for any.
We need strong men. You need to go online to see, and you can just go out in your everyday life and just get an observing of this.
Use of physical strength, such as arson, cyberbullying,
If you think
or
women are such good leaders, why won't you let me speak?
Well, I'll happily let you speak in response to the things that I've said, as long as you're able to stay on topic and respond to the meat on the bone.
Because I'm a woman and I have a brain. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, I guess women are better at leading than men.
No, we're not. We're good in our certain rules. We have our strengths and our values. We're good at raising children. We're very smart and adaptable. But men are the people that need to be out there fighting crime for us, protecting us, so that we feel safe and we can keep our children safe. Why do you think that just historically, more men are CEOs, more men are presidents, senators, whatever?
Because they're raised to do that. Okay? I want to do a statistics. I also want to do a statistic where, even though it kind of sounds bad to do this, but children who don't have TV, who I guess just essentially just live out in the wild, okay? There are children who do that. And a girl and a boy who don't have any influence, not their father, their mother, but they need to have them, but like not their father or mother telling them, don't cry because you're a boy. Don't do this because you're a girl. None of that shit. None of the corrupt shit on the internet. Nobody telling them they shouldn't be doing this because of their gender. I want someone to do an actual statistic of raising these kids in the wild, where instinct and survival has to come in. So you don't go to McDonald's and do all that shit. You actually have to actually provide and lead yourself to surviving in nature in the wild. And let's see who is most likely to live. Not even live, just make it through. Survive. Men, even if that's true, it's because people built them to be like that. They don't have this instinct to have that. The only instinct that you have is to survive. Nothing more and nothing less. Their instinct is not telling them to be a CEO of a fucking company that treats you like a slave. Their instinct is not telling them to do that. They're not naturally equipped to be a CEO where their company treats them like trash and stealing everyone's money. And they work there for 60 years. Their body's not telling them to do that. I guaranteed, highly unlikely to. The only thing you have is instinct, and instinct helps you to survive. It's nothing to do with your gender. Bitch.
Kind of leadership role you want to talk about. That is not because of white supremacy, colonization, or some kind of legal limit. It's because men are drawn to those roles. Today, women have the same exact rights as men, and still, a lot of them choose to stay at home or feel that they can't stay at home because of societal pressures.
Exactly. So if you want to mention the society pressures, what do you think that has on men who are doing all these things? Oh, I want to correct her.
Okay. Well, I think that you said it there at the end. Societal pressures. Societal pressures are the reason why I think that we've seen more men in positions of power, more men in leadership fields, and more men's calling the shot. But if you're the position that underpins your claim here would be that if we see an overrepresentation of men in a field in comparison to women, that men are then by definition better performing in that field. So in the same way you're claiming that because of a vast majority of leaders are men, therefore women are worse at leading, would you also claim that men are better at surgery than women because 85% of surgeons are men and 15% of surgeons are women? I just want to direct yes or no to my question so then I can follow this up with a dialogue.
Become surgeons because it's a more masculine thing. It takes more masculine traits.
Could you
to
answer
have
my
to
question?
Look at the blood. I said yes, but I want to ask you,
I
would
have
you
to hop in
agree
here.
that men are more oppressed today than women? Men are told that they're toxic for being masculine.
Did she really just fucking said that? Really?
The only laws that prevent any gender
Please
from
don't
getting
vote
a
her
role,
out. I need to respond.
we have laws in favor of women getting leadership roles. We're taking opportunities away from men. You are oppressed more than me.
This chick is crazy. Okay, listen, I think that you're crazy because you just said that I'm more oppressed than you, while also claiming that I'm a better leader than you after making the argument that disproportionately men have been in positions of leadership throughout history when leadership is what grants power. But anyways, insanity. Listen, I asked you a question. I said, do you think that men are better at surgery than women because 85% of surgeons are men and 15% of surgeons are women? The reason why I asked this question is because you made the claim that men are better at leading than women because a vast majority of leaders have been men. You said, yes, Dean, because a vast majority of surgeons are men, therefore men are better. The science says, no, men are actually worse at surgery. So the American Medical Association did a study in conjunction with the Journal of the American Medical Association. They did this study on 1.4 million patients over 6 continents in 14 years. And what they determined consistently is that when we account for every single confounding variable that could possibly exist, every single time, men are significantly more likely to kill a patient on the operating table or to give them negative postoperative outcomes in comparison to women. It is one of the most well-accredited studies ever conducted in human history that has reasonably concluded that women are better at surgery than men, even though they account for a minority of surgeons. And this is exactly what debunks your claim that if a field is overrepresented by men, that therefore men are better at performing in it.
It's of our natural desires and what men and women are naturally drawn to.
But women are better at surgery, even though they account for a minority of surgeons. That completely debunks your argument.
Sure, that could be a thing, but I'm saying that naturally men are drawn towards roles of risk and provision. That's because of innate biological characteristics.
But women are better at surgery.
And I said that you're oppressed because of society telling you that you need to be a beta woke man. You are not.
This is like a recent thing, so it's not like, and society nowadays, it's different all over. I can't even say that, but what she's saying is only coming from California. Only coming from California, bro. So relax. And this is what needs to be installed in men's head today. That's what they need to do, to chill the fuck down, to calm the fuck down.
Not like oppressed as a leader. Like instinctually, you want to lead. You want to teach me. That's because of your nature, and I.
No, it's because he knows the right and wrong that most people cannot see, are not drawn to see. He knows the right from wrong, and he knows when someone is telling a lie that's infecting a whole fucking nation, like the president today. Do you have to be a leader to tell the truth? Do you have to be a leader to let people know a secret that's not really secret? No, you don't.
Appreciate that very much, but I disagree with your claims.
Okay, well, I mean, you have to concede here that your argument that men are better at leading than women because more men are leaders than women is false. And the reason
we gotta stop there. We're out of time, so please return to your seat.
Pleasure.
That's the rounded episode you watching, got you scratching your head again, thinking, damn, I've rage-baited myself on a Jubilee video again.
In somebody is something that
make your browser fast. Make your browser safe.
something that would make one a sexual perv.
Divided with a split.
Misogynistic sexual predator.
On Jubilee.
My next surrounded claim is Donald Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator.
Okay, if you want to debate this claim, please get to the chair in 3, 2, 1.
Hello, my name
Howdy,
is Shiva
howdy.
Bagari.
What's your name?
Shiva Bagari.
Shiva Bagari. Well, would you like me to take it away by explaining to you why I think Donald Trump is a
Sure,
misogynistic
yeah.
sexual predator?
Yeah.
First and foremost, he's a sexual predator because the court has held him civilly liable for raping a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll. Of course,
A court said that the president, who has a lot of power, did this and is going to be held as legal as they can possibly get to what he's did, which is raping a young woman back in the day. The court went against the president of the United States, who has a power on not only them, the whole nation. He has a strong hold power, by the way, that he must face as much legal as they can possibly get because he has so much power, because he raped a woman back in the day. You see how crazy that fucking is? And they elected that fucking thing again. And it's going to try to do it again and again until he fucking passes.
in somebody is something that would make one a sexual predator. In 2005, he also boasted about engaging in sexual violence by sexually exploiting beauty pageant contestants at the beauty pageants that he owned by barging into their dressing rooms and looking at their naked bodies. And this isn't an allegation from some woman that you could defame and say just wants money or fame. No, this was an admittance of guilt, something that Donald Trump said he did on Howard Stern's radio show. And I see you shaking your head. I'll happily play you the clip if you want. We also
yes, please show me the clip because I do not believe it. Yes, take it out.
Don't worry, I got it preloaded.
Okay, good.
So you have done that. I'll tell you the funniest is that I'll go backstage before a show. Yes. And everyone's getting dressed and ready and everything else. And, no men are anywhere. And I'm allowed to go in because I'm the owner of the pageant, and therefore I'm inspecting it. I'm inspecting. Right. I want to make sure that everything is good. You're there. Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And you see these incredible-looking women, and so I sort of get away with things like that.
Why don't we start there? Mike's yours.
Okay, well, he said that he probably sees them. It doesn't say they're naked there, so
It does.
They might have. No, it doesn't.
He said that they have no clothes on. When you have no clothes on,
No,
you're naked.
who said that they didn't have clothes on?
Donald Trump.
He didn't say that in the clip.
Yeah, I'll show you.
Okay, again, I want to hear
That's
it
fine.
again.
Yeah, the dress. Is everyone okay? They're standing there with no clothes. Is everybody okay? And
There you go.
Oh, well, it's a like he didn't actually say clothes.
Yeah.
He said clothes.
I think it's important for us to be intelligent, rational people.
Okay, so
you're saying no clothes, and then Howard Stern says, "So you're like a doctor."
I definitely don't agree
Why did
with
Howard
that.
Stern say you're like
first
a
off,
doctor? Because doctors get to see people naked.
Okay, I don't agree with that. But men are men, and men have testosterone, and men love beautiful women. And trust me, I would prefer a man that actually looks at.
She would prefer the president to be a pervert. She likes men being perverts and talking to other men on a live show, not giving a fuck to explain how they love being perverts. That's what she loves. She loves not to protect women and to not only say she disagrees, but then agrees at the same time, in the same time frame, is beyond me.
Women and is sexually attracted to women than someone that is not. And I actually like looking at women too, and I'm not even a lesbian, but I think women's bodies are beautiful. It's like
Ma'am,
art
I'm
to me.
sorry. No.
So would you go on a live show saying, be in the owner and saying, I go in there knowing I shouldn't because they have no clothes on, and I think to myself, well, they have beautiful bodies, and then leave. So being a pervert.
I'm sorry.
Me.
This is disgusting.
No, and
you just told me that you
Yes.
would prefer a man who, quote unquote, likes the female body and is willing to barge into the private women's only dressing rooms to look at them while they have no clothes on.
I said
compared
before
to
that
you're saying I think that real men
I
with
don't believe
testosterone are
that's
sexual
right.
predators.
So you just lied about me right now because I said I don't believe what he did was right.
But
by
it was
going
the
in there.
but I would prefer a man who likes to look at the naked bodies of women that got it.
Then over someone that is attracted to other men. Yes,
Why?
absolutely. Because it's not natural.
It's not natural
It's
to be gay?
natural to be attracted.
It's natural to be attracted to people that you have that have qualities that you like. That's what it is. Again, it has no gender. When you see something, you're attracted to it, and that's just that.
to the opposite
Define
sex.
natural.
Natural is what God made, Adam and Eve.
So God didn't make gay people?
Well, actually,
I thought that God was the creator of all.
No, that's sin, and sin came from the devil.
No, sin is a conscious decision. Being gay is not a conscious decision.
Well, actually, being gay is a conscious decision.
Okay, could you choose to be gay?
It's an action.
Could you choose to be gay?
Yes, absolutely.
Could you choose to be?
I actually could have chose to be gay when I was younger.
Could you choose to
I
be
could've-
attracted to your mom?
A lot of women actually.
Could you
tried hit
choose
on
to be
me,
attracted
and
to your
I
mom?
said
If
no.
attractions are a
But
choice,
I
could
do
you choose to be
look at-
attracted to your mom?
Can you choose to be a pedophile?
No, I couldn't choose to be a pedophile. Could you choose to be attracted to your mom?
Oh, so there you go. He thinks, no, it's an action, honey. And you can choose to sin or you can choose not to sin. I try to keep the devil away from me.
Can I just get a clear answer to the question?
And no, this is a clear answer. But see, you don't come from a biblical standpoint.
What are
you
the first?
Exactly, because that's not relevant. If we're here to talk about the Bible, then the Bible would be included into the prompts, but it's not.
from a
books in the New
worldly
Testament.
standpoint.
But that just comes with every Trump supporter being a Christian. Like Donald Trump is just the great identity of a Christian.
I come from a biblical standpoint that there's two sexes. There's no 50 different genders. That came from a pedophile.
That is true, but it doesn't matter because it has nothing to do with you. So let's not say what it is and what it isn't. If it's not affecting anyone and it has nothing to do with you, then keep your fucking mouth shut.
Named John Money, who lied about a study to push reassignment surgery on thousands of people through his lie that butchered this poor boy and put him through hell. Reimer twins, go look it up on Oprah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of people who butchered people. We're making stories about that too. You need to know who you're messing with, know your facts before you get any type of fucking surgery. You can't blame it on the fucking doctor because you don't know what the fuck you're going.
Okay, so
I'm gonna ask
you
the
don't
question
live
again.
You don't live in
I'm gonna ask the
reality.
question
I
again.
live in reality where I know that a
Jesus.
tree is a tree, a woman is a woman, a man's a man, and if you are choosing,
a moron's a moron.
and if you're choosing, see, that's what they do. When they can't win an argument, they go for.
You're literally not letting him speak.
Okay, pause. Everybody pause. Dean, we gotta ask that you don't do personal attacks. That's a
Okay.
warning.
Okay. All right. So first and foremost, the question once again was, could you choose to be attracted to your mother? The reason why I'm asking you this question is because you had suggested that all attractions are a choice.
It is
so
a
please,
choice.
with just a concise yes or no, could you choose to literally be sexually aroused by your mother? So there's two possible answers to this question. The first possible answer
Yes.
is yes, Dean, I could choose to be attracted to my own mother. And the second possible answer would be no, Dean, I could not
But
choose to
you're
be sexually
trying
aroused
to-
by my own
you're
mother.
trying to do a
so
hook
what's
on
your
me.
answer?
Could I
It's
just,
a hook.
do you have a yes or no for that?
No, because this is a hook. Because I will never be attracted to
But
my
could you
mother and
choose?
father because
People can choose abundance of things. You can choose to be a fucking pedophile. You can choose not to. You understand? Everything has to do with choice. You can choose to like your mother. There are people who choose to do that. But there's most people who choose not to because that's a disgusting decision.
it's a choice, but I would never do that because I'm a Christian.
So could you choose?
That's it. I'm not going to say that on camera. That's weird. And I'm not going to be in the hook of this young man that's 21-year-old telling a 52-year-old to say something disgusting like that.
So you admit that it's disgusting
Yes.
to think that you could choose to be attracted to your mother.
We gotta stop there, that you've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat. If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3,
He's kind of hot, but he's ugly.
2,
Are you having trouble trying to keep up with your professor? You've got to try Otter. Here's how it works.
Who's ever putting this ad? School's been over, I'm pretty sure. Stop.
Howdy.
Hi, Dean. How are you?
I'm doing phenomenal. I'm
My
gonna
name
try
is
to...
Zuriel.
Zuriel, it's a pleasure
Nice
to
to
meet
meet you.
We're going to go back to the prompts. I think that Donald Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator.
Mhm.
The reasons why I think this are some of them that I shared with the last guest. It's because I think that Donald Trump is a... He had a civil court determine that he raped a woman by the name of E. Jean Carroll. We listened to that clip of Donald Trump bragging about engaging in sexual violence. Listen, I take a sexual predator to be somebody that is engaged in sexual violence. Donald Trump bragged about that when he said he'd barge into the dressing rooms of the women at Miss Teen USA and Miss USA. If Donald Trump's admission of guilt in that clip that I played to the last lady is true, and this is indeed something that Donald Trump has done, then by definition, Donald Trump would be a sexual predator, and thereby, by definition, I'd be right.
Can we both agree that people in power of elitists, people up there in politics, all have their own, maybe their own immoral traits to why they're running for candidacy? Like we've heard about Epstein files,
Yes.
about all these different people that, maybe they're not really here to make a change for us.
Yes.
Can we agree with that?
Yes.
I could care less about what Donald Trump says on the media, because
But
I
it's-
believe as long as he does his very best to be a good president and do the best for this economy, I don't vote for a president.
Hey, at least she's honest. But honestly, most honesty things, no, honesty like this can lead you into shitty situations, right? But I honor the honesty. But how do you not care that the president who's making the everyday decisions is loving getting asked that kind of question and saying some disgusting shit with that kind of question being involved? How do you just forget that? Like, that wouldn't impale him saying that the same emotions and feelings will impale decisions that can be very crucial to the United States of America. How can you just... Well, he'd been on the Epstein Island, but I don't care, because let's hope he does his very best, or he's going to do his very best in this decision. If he decided to go on an island with that shit being involved in, what do you think he'll do to make these decisions? Like, you think he's just... What he does in private is not what he does in public? It's very similar. It's actually not even different. So let's be honest. And that wasn't even private, that was public, because it was on a live, but whatever.
President based off, their character. I know I vote for them based off what they can get done, honestly.
I would like to just take a moment. Let's look at what you said.
Okay.
Are you saying, Dean, it's true Donald Trump is a misogynistic sexual predator, but I could care less because of his policy?
What I'm saying is,
Can I just get a straight
we
answer?
obviously can't deny that maybe he has bad traits of his character. I'm not going to agree that, I don't know everything about Trump like you do.
Okay,
But
let's start
what
from
I
the
care
top.
about is his economy. I don't care about what he has to say on
Let's start from the top of this
the
debate.
news.
You sit down. I tell you Donald Trump is a sexual predator. I tell you he's a sexual predator because he raped a woman and boasted about sexually exploiting beauty pageant contestants.
The reason why
you
I'm
respond,
not responding to
you
your
respond,
claim
you
is 'cause
respond.
I don't know much
okay,
about what
so
you see
let's
in the
just
courthouse
let's
and
test your
whatnot.
logic. What do you say, Dean? Even if it was true, Donald Trump was a sexual predator.
They put the flag up because they're trying to save her, but you can't save what you cannot be.
Because you don't know about the evidence for it, which is something you should look into on your own time. I would
Right.
still support him as president and could care less. Is that your position?
I would still support him as president because he does what's best for the economy and for the American dream.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta stop.
Every
We gotta
person
pause
within
there.
that.
You've been voted out. We gotta pause there.
Sounds good.
Thank
Thank
Quote
you.
unquote, I would still support Donald Trump as president if he was a sexual predator. If he was a child rapist, they'd still support him.
If you want to be the next debater, please get to the chair in 3, 2.
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Liz.
Nice to meet you, Liz.
Nice to meet you.
Listen, I think that you've heard my arguments. You happen to be sitting in a position where you could hear my voice. Mic is yours.
Okay, so my question is, because you mentioned Donald Trump going into the women's locker rooms,
Yeah.
are all trans people sexual predators?
So I would not say that trans women are sexual predators for using the women's restroom. I think that the definition of sexual violence.
So that is way different, because they're not using the bathroom and then later get invited on a podcast to be like, I love seeing that and I'm the manager of it, so I purposely going it because I get away with that because I'm the owner. That's completely different. It's completely different. Bathrooms are not changing areas where people typically get fucking naked in to change into big, beautiful dresses. That's not what restrooms are for. Dumbass bitch.
Violence would be any sexual act that is done without consent, and I don't think that this would be true of trans women who use a women's restroom, and I have an argument for why I think that trans women should be able to use a women's restroom, but let's try to take advantage of our time. Instead of me giving you my argument, let's just hopefully stay on topic with the claim that Donald Trump is a sexual predator because he's raped a woman. He's boasted about sexually exploiting women by barging into their dressing rooms and looking at their...
This is what they do, and they can't avoid it, so they make something that they think can go over it, but it cannot.
naked bodies without consent, then telling Howard Stern how much...
The girl with the honesty problem, she got it. That's what they can't say. Is I don't give a fuck what he said. I don't care what kind of person he is, but I think no, I'll know he do a good president. But he just said that kind of gay shit and was involved in that shit. But he's definitely gonna be a good president. That's what they can't say, but that's what they all do. That's what they're thinking. They don't give a fuck about what kind of past he has and the future that it has, which is all disgusting. They don't care about that. They just think the policies will be good, but it's really not. None of the policies that he's ever made has gone through and went good.
Much he loved it and how incredible they looked. He's mentioned the Epstein files over a million times.
The women, the young women in sports who do not want biological men in their dressing room.
We don't give a fuck about what those dumbass bitches want. I don't want women like you in my space. I don't want nobody like that in my space. Nobody cares what I want. Nobody cares what you want. It's a fucking bathroom.
Doesn't that go against?
I don't want shitty ass kids who shit their fucking diaper to stink up the bathroom or yell all the fucking time in public spaces. But they're fucking in there, aren't they? And they cause more of a disturbance than fucking trannies.
Them.
Well,
what about their safety?
I would love to have a conversation with you about trans people in dressing rooms, or sorry, more so locker rooms. And I understand where you're coming from if you say, well, I don't want a trans woman in my dressing room because I would see their naked body and their genitalia.
Well, no,
and the reason why I get it, the reason why I understand where you're coming from is because even when I go into my gym's locker room and I see other dudes with their dicks out, I'm like, hey, bro, I don't really want them to see me. I don't want them to see me. So I advocate, one moment, I advocate for unisex, unistall, one person at one time changing rooms in locker rooms.
That's what it be, because just because you have a penis doesn't mean you're a sexual predator, even though you're most likely to be one. You know? Most people who've been in the situations that align with trans people, which is being discriminated all the time just because you want to do what you wanted to do and don't give a fuck what other people got to do, they have more pity and carefulness with people than her and him. Period. Well, probably not Dean, because he's been through something. I know he has. Because they know what it feels like to be like that. So why would they make people be like that, you know?
Rooms and gyms and sports across the
Because
country.
the thing is,
that's my position. Let's talk about the claim that Donald Trump is a sexual predator.
Part of the claim.
Well, you're not.
First of all,
do you accept that Donald Trump is a sexual predator?
I can accuse you of being a sexual predator.
And if I admitted to doing it, then it would be true. Donald Trump admitted to barging into those dressing rooms, and a court found him guilty of raping E. Jean Carroll.
No, he didn't. No, they didn't. That's a lie.
They certainly did.
No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. Listen, do you accept that the definition of rape would include the penetration of a woman's vagina with any part of a man's body, including his fingers?
Without consent?
Yeah. So specifically, the action that the jury found Donald Trump guilty for was forcefully penetrating E. Jean Carroll's.
I think what's going on right now in the world with men and women is that women are
No, I don't want to listen. No, I can't.
Accusing a lot of men of rape, and until I
because a lot of men rape and get away with it, you dumbass.
See actual proof, because a jury can just agree with anything. That's something else, okay? Until there is.
It's the 2000s, the 21st century. The jury is just not just going to agree with anything. It's not 1950s where there's racism, homophobia involved. It's the 20th century. So if a fucking jury that don't know each other, who is filled with black, white, Hispanic, and Asian people, all different kind of backgrounds, are coming together and saying Donald Trump is guilty, then it's guilty.
Actual proof and evidence, and if you can show me the proof that Donald Trump raped her, then fine.
The proof can be in front of her fucking face. There could be a rewind of history of her in the fucking wherever the fuck they were at, and she will still say, "I will vote for Donald Trump." It doesn't even matter.
Thank you so much for the great question. What's all the evidence? So the first form of evidence that we would have would be E. Jean Carroll's testimony, in which has maintained consistency for the last 30 years, as corroborated by 4 of her friends that testified under penalty of perjury. The second form of evidence that we'd have
lied
here,
under penalty of perjury.
Well, can you please examine the evidence in which I provide
Go
as soon
on,
as I'm done
sorry.
providing it? We have therapist notes from the 90s indicating she was raped by Trump. We had the testimony of a psychotherapist that said when E. Jean Carroll was testifying to the fact she was raped by Donald Trump, she was exhibiting signs consistent with true trauma that we'd expect to be onset by a true victim of. Then we have Donald Trump's lies and inconsistencies. He lied. He said that he never met her as a part of his testimony for his defense, and then E. Jean Carroll responded by submitting a photo of them together to the court.
Do you
We also
remember
have, I'm not
every
done with the evidence. I'm not done with the evidence. We have another line inconsistency on Donald Trump's behalf. He also said that he never raped her because she wasn't his type, but then he confused a picture of E. Jean Carroll to be his ex-wife Marla Maples under deposition, so clearly she was his type. Then we also have E. Jean Carroll's dress. E. Jean Carroll submitted a dress to the court, claiming it was the dress that she was raped in by Donald Trump. Court confirmed it had male DNA on it, and then when the court asked Donald Trump to provide a DNA sample to test against the DNA in the dress, he said, no, 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 no. Doesn't sound like something an innocent man would do. And then the last and final piece of evidence we have would be his character priors. Listen, we all know that a one-time felon is around 73% more likely to engage in another felony compared to somebody that's never committed a crime in their life. The same thing rings true about being a sexual predator. So because Donald Trump...
They're most likely to get away with fucking anything and do it again. Trust me, I would know. Because I'm not, but I've been around a lot of people like that.
has character priors with engaging in sexual predation, like the dressing room clip, proudly boasting about sexually exploiting naked women and girls, or like the Access Hollywood tape where he literally said that he would just grab women by their vaginas without asking first, and that's precisely what the jury found him guilty of doing, or everything to do with the Epstein files. That in consideration with the direct evidence submitted by E. Jean Carroll and his lies is absolutely what demonstrates Donald Trump raped E. Jean Carroll.
Okay, we got to stop there. We got to stop there. The flags.
We're not talking about him right now, and we all know that Bill Clinton is not the guy he says he is, or people think they know him as.
You've been voted out.
But I will be doing a part 2 very soon, literally just, after I make this video. I'm so sick of people doing this. I really am. Come back for part 2.